Coming up next on West Side Stories, we follow a local immigrants' rights organization as they walk to Lansing to insist on the right to carry a Michigan driver's license.
And we get reactions from GVSU students on the Nike Kaepernick endorsement deal.
Plus, we visit an organization called Urban Roots and take a look at the Green Revolution in Grand Rapids. All that and more next on West Side Stories.
West Side Stories is produced by students from the Multimedia Journalism program at Grand Valley State University. Support also comes from the School of Communications. Inspiring thought, perfecting practice.
Welcome to West Side Stories. I'm Preston Donikoski.
And I'm Callie Hubbard.
Nike and Colin Kaepernick are continuing to stir up controversy.
The USA Gymnastics interim president Mary Bono has resigned after coming under fire for a tweet she posted criticizing Nike's endorsement. Reporter Eli Ong takes a look at GVSU students' reactions to Kaepernick's Nike endorsement.
The beginning of fall means the return of football season for GVSU students, faculty, and local residents. But with football this year, there has come a polarizing debate.
Not only am I burning my favorite pair of Nikes, you are burning your sales. Have a good day.
Colin Kaepernick, a free agent NFL quarterback formerly with the San Francisco 49ers, has been drawing widespread criticism and support for kneeling during the national anthem to protest systemic oppression and social injustice. Off the field, Nike has retained Kaepernick under contract with the company, and on September 4th, released an advertisement featuring him as the new face of their Just Do It campaign, sparking controversy around the country. At Grand Valley State University, some students agree with Kaepernick and Nike, while others around campus take issue with their message.
So, I mean, I personally don't really have a problem with it.
I mean, there's other things he could have done to help bring attention to police brutality and inequality in our justice system.
But I think I did not like that message in particular and the way it was done.
Ashley Sheffer, a student at GVSU and former service member in the Air Force, has her own views on Nike and the new face of their Just Do It campaign.
I think he's standing up for what he believes in. I think he lost a lot just because of what he did.
Kaepernick is in the middle of a collusion lawsuit against the NFL, where he argues that league owners are intentionally keeping him out of the league because of his protests.
I think kids need to see that. I think they need to see that you can stand alone and still get big sponsorships from companies.
From the Kirkhoff Center on GVSU's campus to Lovers Stadium, we caught up with a couple of GVSU football players who shared their thoughts on the controversy surrounding Nike and Colin Kaepernick.
Definitely, I think he could do a great job, and obviously there's a lot of things that he stands for that I'm all for, as far as bringing attention to social justice issues within the relationship between police officers and people of color in our country and whatnot. And I think he'd do a better job of continuing to push that as far as doing things within the community and being a spokesperson for that cause, and not just being a figurehead for protests in general.
I'm sure everyone's seen it. To be honest, it really doesn't get brought up. I really haven't heard anyone really talk about it in the locker room and everything. So, I mean, I'd say it's split. I mean, obviously some people can take some stances, some take the other, but...
Nate Dreyer, a journalism major at GVSU, is someone that feels Kaepernick has gone about his protests in the wrong way and should reconsider his actions.
So with the new Nike and Kaepernick Just Do It ad, I looked at it as for me, one of the bigger embarrassments of this whole saga, just because of the final tagline and saying about sacrificing everything, when Kaepernick's been under contract with Nike this whole time, when his own play is partially what did lead to him being out of the league along with his actions. I felt that to say that and to juxtapose it with, police officers and military and those that have actually sacrificed everything, I just felt it was a very poor choice.
Other GVSU students and football players we talked to had their own views on whether or not they would buy Nike products moving forward.
More likely. I just need to make a little bit more money.
You know, I like Nikes, I like Adidas. You know, there's pretty much 2 brands I buy for as far as sports apparel. So I say it stayed the same.
I'm indifferent. To be honest, I'm an Adidas guy, so we're sponsored by Adidas here, so I mainly wear Adidas, but I still wear Nike, you know. I'll still buy them.
I'm someone that has bought a lot of Nike clothing in the past. Nike Golf, especially. I've given Nike and Tiger Woods a lot of my money, and I'm in a position where right now I'm not even wearing the Nike clothes. I've pushed them off to the side.
From Grand Valley State University, I am Eli Ong.
According to ABC News, Colin Kaepernick was honored by Harvard for his significant contributions to Black history and culture.
Political tensions continue to rise as the nation gets closer to the upcoming midterm elections. Reporter John Rothwell follows a group of local protesters who marched to the state's capital. Their reason? They want to change Michigan driver's license laws for undocumented immigrants.
Listen, my people, my condor, my eagles, no human being.
Immigrants' rights group Movimiento Cosecha gathers at Fountain Street Church. They are starting a 5-day, 65-mile pilgrimage to the state capital in Lansing. What's the reason? To demand driver's licenses for all immigrants.
This is a symbolic walk to kind of bring attention to our personal journey, the journey that we always walk. And people that are undocumented, they have to live a double life.
Sierra says that while undocumented immigrants are part of the community, they also have to live in fear. In 2008, the state of Michigan began requiring driver's license applicants to provide proof of U.S. citizenship or immigration status. This causes many to drive in fear since they don't have the necessary documentation.
Right now in Michigan, people that are undocumented are not able to get driver's licenses. 10 years ago, they did have licenses, but then the governor took them away from immigrants, and so that's probably the number one way in which immigrants come into contact with police and then enter the process, also come into contact with ICE. And oftentimes this also starts the process for deportation.
Sierra says that if a family member is detained and undergoes the process of deportation, it will cause a lot of unneeded stress for that family. Lowe, another group member, says that the possible dangers of the 5-day march are nothing compared to the everyday fear that comes with being an undocumented immigrant.
Dangerous walk, a dangerous living every day with fear of driving. Our community is being under attack because the state of Michigan is not giving a driver's license to immigrants. So walking is not dangerous. Driving without a license is dangerous for our immigrants and for everybody that lives here in Michigan.
While there are those who agree with the immigrants' right group, others have different opinions.
I think it's great that they are practicing their right to protest and to give an example of American freedom. I don't believe, however, they understand the implications of what they're asking for. They're asking for documentation for people that are undocumented.
Some individuals think that allowing undocumented immigrants to have driver's licenses could cause problems.
What do we want? When do we want them? Now!
I think it's the beginning of socialism. Look at what they're doing out in California. They want to take away your guns, and then they want to give immigrants an open border, and they're trying to make it legal for all you need to vote in the United States is a driver's license. And that would mean we would have 25-30% being illegal aliens that came over into the United States.
I think it's very misconception that Republicans have no feelings for these people, that they don't believe that these people have any rights. However, we are a country of laws. We are such a great country because of those laws.
Just by stepping over into our country, they get all the rights that we get. No, they don't deserve it.
As the marchers continue their journey towards the Capitol, they experienced a range of different opinions. This wasn't enough to disrupt the march.
Yeah, some cars or start to screaming things, but can I say things? Well, yeah, some people are doing it, but we don't care. At the end of the day, all people, we are humans.
If there's one thing members of the march want people to remember, it's that they are members of the community like anyone else. This is John Rothwell reporting.
A House bill that would provide IDs for undocumented immigrants was submitted by Representative Pagel in 2017. According to the Department of Motor Vehicles, if this legislation is passed, Michigan would become the 11th state to issue IDs to undocumented immigrants.
October is International Sustainability Month. That means that college campuses all across the globe are paying more attention to environmental issues. Elliot Perpich gives us a closer look at some organizations in Grand Rapids that are trying to change their impact on the environment.
One person can shed the light on a situation, and one person has always done that. One person has always had the idea that made movements happen.
Give me cilantro. A lot of cilantro, I'd say.
Okay.
If you're ever walking on Madison Avenue in southeast Grand Rapids, you might find yourself in front of a business named Urban Roots. This relatively young company is part of the modern green movement, a conservation movement spurred on by concerns over climate change, fracking, and other environmental concerns.
Urban Roots is a place where all people, it doesn't matter where you're from, how you grew up, what your background is, it's a place for all people to come and learn about growing food, eating food, coming together as a community, cooking, composting, and just spending time together in this beautiful urban space. I like to say that it is a farm, but we're not a production farm. We're a farm that is used as a platform for education.
Baker says she focuses more on raising awareness in her community. Although the self-sustaining fresh food market retrieves compost from all over the city, they also put time into their headquarters. Farming manager Jeff Pingle says it's like his home, and he says he takes pride in the fact that aside from some snacks, all of the food is grown in the backyard.
You're not paying for food to come from California or Mexico instead of just creating a sustainable food system in your own area. The green initiative is becoming cooler, I think, so people are in on it, and that just means way better world for us, better business for all of us.
Pingle has a lot of responsibilities, one of which is actually just watching grass grow. There's a lot that goes into this job, and Pingle says some of it can be fun, while sometimes it can also be pretty tough. But when it comes to getting their hands dirty, Baker says the ends justify the means.
What I love about urban growing is it's before your very eyes, seeing something from start to finish, something that is really, really having a positive impact on the environment.
By doing things like buying their own bees to make the honey continuously, Urban Roots actually saves money, and the honey they sell is fresh as can be. In fact, farm steward Jeff Pingle says all the products on the shelves of Urban Roots are fresh from the garden.
Everything that's out here right now has been planted, worked. I take care of everything. I'm the only full-time. We also had pretty good volunteers that would come in, regular ones, that had either volunteered or worked here in the past and still come in. So they're really trustworthy, and we get a lot of good work done. My favorite part of the garden is walking through the tomatoes, because the way we string them up is super cool. Oh yeah, I love all the chickens, man.
Pingle says the garden is his happy place, while Baker feels the most comfortable putting the harvested foods to use. Every day, Baker makes lunch for the staff with different vegetables from the garden. If there's any extra, it's put in the fridge or right back into the compost pile.
There's so much pollution that happens because of food. So instead of saying, no, I'm not going to support those big food conglomerates, I would rather grow something for myself and see it in a very tangible way and then eat it.
These employees have the skills to grow and make their own food. Unfortunately, lots of people aren't that prepared. Francesca Ortizi, a student and nonprofit representative, says it's hard to make a difference while in school. The nonprofit she works for, Turning Green, looks to change that.
If you are kind of you want to be aware and you're interested in environmental awareness and how to live a more eco-friendly life, but you're kind of intimidated, you don't really know where to start or who to talk to, Project Green Challenge is such a perfect way for students to kind of take their own journey with it and not have to tell anybody.
Project Green Challenge is a 30-day event that informs students on what they can do to reduce their carbon footprint. Ortizi says they target students in the hopes that they're more open to making the change in their routine than older generations.
I think we're young enough to see the change in our lives, which can be kind of scary. And I want to try to like prevent this from happening for future generations. Like, it's important for people, especially that like want to have kids and like carry on.
Starting with why you signed up, each day has a challenge that focuses on a different part of going green. By completing the challenges, participants can get points that can earn prizes, most of which are environmentally friendly products. On top of that, they can earn points for their school, whether just for pride or sometimes to win a competition. Ortiz says incentives are a big help, but this is something that people are interested in without them.
You know, sometimes they say no, which is okay, but like then you get those people that really are, and then you can kind of give them the spiel and they're like, I want to do this.
But after she gives them the info, she says she can't do much more than hope that they'll use it.
You want to be the person that like sheds the light on the situation, but you also don't want to be like the annoying know-it-all that is just like telling everybody what to do and like rolling their eyes at them if they're not doing it.
Ortiz doesn't like to be rude, but she also doesn't want to live in a worldwide dumpster. And who does? Here in Ottawa County, I'm Elliot Perpich.
While Urban Roots is raising awareness in Grand Rapids, GVSU is also doing its part to help the environment. The Princeton Review recently named Grand Valley State University as one of the most environmentally responsible colleges for the 9th year in a row.
In our next feature, we're going to drop in on an old friend, Reagan Blissett. You'll remember that last year Reagan was an anchor for our show. You may also remember that she got her dream job as a reporter at Channel 9 and 10 in northern Michigan. But as Reagan tells us, life after college can be a lonely and difficult journey.
Reagan Blissett, former anchor and reporter for West Side Stories, knows what it's like to struggle in the real world, even after you've landed your dream job. Reagan was thrilled when she received the opportunity to become a reporter for the local news station in Cadillac, Michigan. However, she was blinded by the struggles that the real world brought her.
In college, I felt on top of the world. I was a cheerleader, I was top of the class, like I was so involved and participating in anything that I could, you know, trying to really have a great college experience. And so my last year of college, it was kind of like it was all coming to an end. And so it was just really living it up. From the day I walked the doors at Granite Valley, I was going to be a broadcaster.
We're following breaking news in Kent County. Right now, traffic is being rerouted around 44th Street in Granville.
I was going to work in news. I was going to work in entertainment news. I knew what I wanted from the beginning. And so I did internships. I went all the way to California to do an internship.
Hey guys, I am so excited. I can't even control my excitement. But we are on our way to California. California is literally my dream state.
I literally knew exactly what I wanted. And then I graduated. Then all of a sudden, the world feels like the rug came out from under me. And I was completely knocked down with what the real world brought me. Having a team of people and then graduating and having to be your own team. Nobody prepared me, I guess, mentally to what I would experience after college. Nobody told me about the mental problems I would go through of being alone, living in a place that's far away from home, from my friends in college. It's not easy, but it's the fact that of knowing I can do it, but there was a part where I didn't think I was gonna do it. Like, it's not easy coming out of college, and also I feel like I let people down because I think people saw me and they think that she's got it all put together, and you put on social media that you've got it all put together, but sometimes I just don't. Not many people are very real on social media. I think honestly it should change. That's why I'm doing this. I think people really should see that. I don't have it all together. I am still struggling just like anybody else.
Reagan says that although she has closed many chapters in her life, her story is still not over. From West Side Stories, I'm Callie Hubbard.
Whether you're currently attending or fresh out of college, it's important to remember that you're never alone.
Every October, Polish pride fills the streets of Grand Rapids during the city's annual Pulaski Days celebration. West Side Stories reporter Jake O'Donnell tells us more about how the community is celebrating.
Happy Pulaski Day!
go. Welcome to the 2018 Pulaski Day Parade right on the east side of Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids Pulaski Days began in 1973 as a way to help celebrate Polish culture and community throughout the city. Named after American Revolutionary War general and Polish immigrant Kazimierz Pulaski, the festival lasts throughout the first week of October, and whether they are Polish or not, Grand Rapidians love to come out and partake in the fun.
I've been coming down here probably since I've been 3-4 years old. Dancing, everything, the music and everything has been amazing.
We love coming down here. It's a family tradition for all. We love the fact that the Polish halls are open to the public and they all come together as one. The food, the family, the friends, it's an amazing experience. We love it.
The annual Pulaski Days Parade is a great opportunity for many local companies and candidates to come out and promote themselves. However, the main goal of the event is to help spread awareness of Polish heritage. One organization that does this is the Grand Valley State University Polish Club, who marched in the parade for the second straight year. The club's vice president, Sebastian van der Est, told me that his organization loves to go out and make a difference in the community.
Polish Club likes to get involved with our community. That's the original intent of forming Polish Club, is to get in touch with our roots. Our intent with Pulaski Days is that we had our young college students in our Polish Club go out to the well-established Polish community in Grand Rapids. Everyone was super excited to see that. We had some Grand Valley students representing us in Grand Rapids. Everyone that I talked to was so happy to see, us out there. A few of the people that were in charge of the festival, they were talking to us, they were being all happy, They were trying to extend their warm welcome to us and trying to get us out, out to their communities and kind of see what their clubs have to offer. And so, so they were definitely very warm in their acceptance of us.
When Polish Club President Frank Solanska arrived at GVSU as a freshman, he wanted to find a way to celebrate his family's history and culture with his fellow students. Solanska decided to take matters into his own hands. 4 years later, with the help of others like van der Est, the organization is thriving on campus.
One of our biggest events is that we put on a World Cup of Soccer for all the cultural clubs, like the Spanish club, the German club, and so forth. And it's kind of like how the World Cup is set up. We all play each other with a single elimination, and it's just a lot of fun for people to enjoy a fun sport and to maybe get to know each other's cultures a little bit better and understanding other people and where they come from and their backgrounds. Another event that we do is the Pulaski sale on Fat Tuesday during the Easter time, and that's always a huge hit. Everyone sees our name with that, and a great time to give people their Pulaski on Fat Tuesday.
Solanska told me that his heritage is a big part of his life, and the more he learns about it, the more he becomes interested.
Everything about being Polish means a lot to me, starting with growing up as a kid, celebrating Christmas and Easter with the Polish foods and traditions that we had, and then going into learning my family history with my father. We traced our genealogy back all the way to Poland, come find out we have relatives in Poland, got to meet them when we went for a trip, which was a really nice trip. It was amazing, best trip I ever went on. And then I got to study abroad in Poland, and just it meant so much to me to see how different it is to learn about the culture and heritage of how they are nowadays compared to when my great-great-grandparents used to live there.
Both Solanska and van der Est agree that sharing their culture can bring people together. This mission is shared by both the Polish Club and those across Grand Rapids who put on the annual Pulaski Days celebration.
Where I come from the east side of the state, there's a heavy Polish population close to Hamtramck, Sterling Heights. I go to a Polish church. One thing that I see in Grand Rapids is there is representation of Polish roots. We have a lot of people that have grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents that are Polish. And I think our mission, something that is so awesome to be a part of, is to kind of rejuvenate, to reintegrate what has been through a lot of people's ancestors and bring that into our youth. We could say that a lot of generations that have come from Poland, they're growing older. We're the kids and the grandkids of these people. for us to kind of reestablish the youth of Polish culture into West Michigan would be our utmost goal for having this club.
So whether you're Polish or not, Pulaski Days is a great way to experience Polish culture and community right here in West Michigan. Reporting from Grand Rapids, I'm Jake O'Donnell.
Thank you so much, Jake, for that story. Now, backstage a little bit, we were talking, and I found out that Preston here knows how to polka.
No, that's special occasions only. Maybe a wedding with the elderly folks, but not me professionally.
Not today.
No, I'll go eat the food, but dancing is not my thing. And thankfully, before Callie tries to get me to do it, that is all the time we have today. We must leave. I'm Preston Donikoski.
And I'm Callie Hubbard. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
West Side Stories is produced by students from the Multimedia Journalism program at Grand Valley State University. Support also comes from the School of Communications, inspiring thought, perfecting practice.